Hello my friends, I'm Brett Larkin and welcome back to our Detox Yoga Fusion Challenge. Today we are just yinning it up. Our fusion focus is yin and this is a deep hip opening class. We're going to be doing pigeon on each side for 7 minutes each. And if you've never done a 7-minute long pigeon hold, you're in for a treat. It's going to feel great. As you know, each day of this challenge, we're working with an affirmation, and today's affirmation is, I forgive myself, I am worthy of love. I forgive myself, I am worthy of love. You can see all of my uplifted affirmations in the Uplifted Yoga Planner journal that just released for this new year. It is a calendar planner and yoga journal all in one, so make sure to check that out at the links below this video. To begin, set down some padding that your hips are going to be able to rest on because a 7-minute pigeon hold is no joke. If you have a bolster, maybe put that bolster out in front of you so you could also use the bolster. Just some pillows off your bed will work well as well. These beautiful bolsters are from Chatra, which you can get at Yoga Outlet, who made this whole challenge possible. So make sure to shop and support Yoga Outlet if you're looking for some new yoga gear. We're just going to begin in downward facing dog, and before you go there, there is some optional music I've picked out to go with this class. So if you want to listen to some beautiful chants, one of my favorite mantras to do while I do hip opening, just again click the link below this video or I'll have it appear somewhere on the screen and you can play that song in a separate YouTube tab. The song's exactly 7 minutes, so you'll listen to it twice, once on each side, and I'll cue you to restart it as well. Otherwise, you can always just enjoy silence. So pressing back into your dog, making sure you have some padding on the floor for your hips, maybe some pillows ahead of you. You can always pause the video, start the music, and come back. Don't make this your deepest dog by any means. Just stretch through the back of the legs, bending one knee and then the other. Slowing your breathing down. And then we'll start with the left leg first. So you're just gonna slide your left leg forward into a pigeon pose. And if you're really new to pigeon or really new to yoga, you may want to put props or pillows underneath your left seat. You really want to try to fill up any gaps between your body and the floor. So rolling up some blankets and putting them under this left hip, or taking the shin a little closer to the body. That's going to make it a lot easier to fold forward. Taking the shin more parallel to the top edge of the mat is going to make the stretch a lot deeper. And remember, we're going to be here 7 minutes. So going to your deepest point right away isn't the best idea. So you just want to be somewhere that feels right, someplace you feel you can breathe. Maybe just move the hips a little side to side. Good, and then curl the back toes under. That's going to make sure your foot's not sickled. Take the right hip forward a little bit and the left hip back. So your hips, you're aiming to have them square like headlights towards the front of the mat. And then just melt the upper body down over that bolster. Or if this is really intense for you, you might want to stay upright, which is perfectly fine too. And just begin to deepen your breath. If you've put on some music, just really soaking in the vibration of what you're listening to. And if you're enjoying silence, really connecting with your breath. Making your breath like this deep metronome. When we inhale and exhale very deeply, keeping inhales and exhales the same length, really serves to regulate our whole nervous system. Notice if you've gone too far. Remember, we're here for the long haul. So you don't want to be feeling the most intense hip stretch right away. You want to be about at a 5 in terms of level of sensation between 0 and 10. You want to be able to easily breathe here. If you go too far, the body's just going to tense up and want to come out of it. So it's much better to sort of be at a place that's too easy, where the body can open more and you can use your breath as a tool more. Just breathe into the area of the left hip like it was a balloon you wanted to fill with breath. Exhale completely. A few more like that, breathing so deeply into the left hip, expanding it with breath. And exhaling all the way. Actively draw the shoulders down and back. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the eyes. This is extremely challenging, so be kind to yourself here. Back off if needed. Listen to your body. You shouldn't feel any pain or tenderness in that left knee. If you do, back off, back out of it. Only if you want to walk the body over to the right, so you're at a little bit of a diagonal to the hip. Lower body stays the same. You just walk the torso over to the right, over the right edge of the mat. Totally optional, otherwise you can just stay neutral. Again, breathing down into the left hip like it's a big beach ball you can fill up with air. Exhale, releasing any tension. Just let gravity totally win here.
Maybe call to mind your affirmation. I forgive myself. I'm worthy of love. I forgive myself. I am worthy of love. The hips hold so much tension. The yogis say emotional trauma lives and stays in this area of the body especially. What can you let go? Forgive.
Take the torso back to center if you haven't. 3 huge breaths now. Inhaling, inflating the hip. Exhaling completely, nose or mouth. 2 more. Inhale, inflating the hip, inflating the low back. Just inviting in breath, more breath, more breath, and then exhaling, let that go. Last time, breathing in. Breathing out. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Curl the back toes under. You can either press back into downward dog, or maybe you want to take all fours or child's pose. Just notice the left hip as compared to the right, the left side of the body as compared to the right. Maybe come to all fours and just move the hips a little side to side. And pressing back to dog if you did that before. Restarting the 7-minute song if you were listening to it. Or again, enjoying silence. Let's take the other side. So slipping now the right shin forward. Remembering that we don't want any pain in that right knee. Just coming up to begin, and again, moving hips a little bit left and right. Just sort of seeing where the body has landed. And then curl the back left toes under. Use that to spin your left hip forward and your right hip a little bit back. So you can even take your hands to sort of palpate your 2 bony hip points, and you'd want those to be facing forward ideally. And again, you might need to put a lot of pillows and blankets under the right hip if the right hip is high off the ground. Adjust, make this as comfortable as you can. And then you might stay upright this whole time if you're feeling a good stretch here. If you've been doing yoga quite a while, you might fold forward. Again, remembering that if the shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat, it's a deeper stretch. Taking the heel closer into your groin is going to be a less intense stretch. And with the yin practice, the goal is to let the pose rise and meet us, to just be present with sensation in the body and breathe. It's not to go after or attack our deepest stretch. We want to be in a place where we can breathe easily, where we can soften the shoulders and jaw, where we can surrender to gravity. It's in this surrender that the body will really magically open for you.
that the pose will come to meet you. And we just practice patience. And focus on making our inhales and exhales equal length. Send your breath down into the right hip, breathing into it. Just like it was a balloon, you could expand with your breath on the inhale. Just visualize sending light and space to that right hip. Softening everything and surrendering more on your exhale. Get heavier after every breath. And then only if you want to walk the upper body over to the left. So the lower body stays the same, the torso and maybe some of your pillows just move to this left diagonal. And breathing into this variation of the stretch, totally optional. Gently walk the torso back to center if you moved. Really firing up your breathing here. Inhaling for 3, filling up that right hip with breath. Exhaling 3, letting the bones of the body get heavier, just really melt into the floor here. 2 more, deepest breath in. Get wider as you breathe, let it go. Last one, huge breath in. Exhale completely. Move very slowly. Curl the back toes under. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Press back into all fours or downward dog. You can always make some circles with the hips or just wag the hips side to side. See what feels good and right for you. Come into a down dog as you're ready, if you've been doing that, just to feel the difference now between the 2 sides of the body. Maybe they feel more symmetrical now that we've done both sides. And from here, I invite you to come into a Shavasana and rest. So even though this was a very easeful practice, well, easeful in some ways, maybe very mentally challenging in other ways to hold these yin postures. We still always want to take Shavasana. So if you can, maybe use your pillows and bolsters underneath your knees as a nice way to come down and relax for your final rest. Or you can do any poses that feel good from here. Just lying down on the floor, allowing yourself to truly rest and soak up the benefits of this practice. Or ending in a seated cross-legged position, your choice. Stay wherever you can for as long as possible. Just let this practice soak into your hips, into your heart. Forgive yourself. You are worthy of love and so much love. From my heart to yours, namaste.